These are the controversies that have followed Iman Pokimane Anis across more than a decade of streaming. From a resurfaced 2013 clip to a cookie company that quietly disappeared in 2026. Every incident I'm covering here is publicly documented. Every apology was actually made. And most of the so-called shocking truths online, they're messier and more human than the drama channels make them out to be. I'm walking you through them in order. Real quotes, real dates, real outcomes. By the end, you won't just know what happened. You'll know how she responded and where things stand right now in 2026. Let's go back to the start, because the first big one is also the oldest. Who is Pokimane?
PewDiePie actually hit the nail right on the head.
Before the drama, the basics. Imani Anis was born May 14, 1996, in Morocco. Her family moved to Quebec, Canada when she was young. She went to McMaster University in Ontario for chemical engineering, a degree she never actually finished. She made her Twitch account in June 2013 and started streaming with a $250 PC she bought off Kijiji after hitting platinum rank in League of Legends. The name Pokimane? It's just Pokemon plus Imani. That's it. By 2017, she'd picked up 450,000 Twitch followers and won the Shorty Award for Best Twitch Streamer of the Year. She co-founded Offline TV, the content creator collective that came to define a whole era of streaming. In 2021, Forbes put her on their 30 under 30 list in the games category, calling her the largest female streamer on Twitch. When the Twitch payout data leaked in 2021, she was the highest-earning woman streamer on the platform. As of April 2026, she has 6 million Instagram followers, 7.3 million on TikTok, 6.6 million on YouTube, and 4 million on X. That's the person. Now, the controversies. The 2013 clip. The oldest controversy is also the heaviest, and it didn't even surface until 2019. March 2019. Pokimane is streaming League of Legends. Viewers hear something that sounds like a racial slur. She was actually saying, "this Nivea," referring to the champion Anivia. Keemstar tweeted about it and the clip blew up. Pokimane's response was direct. "I said, this Anivia." Sounded like this Nivea, aka a champion in League of Legends. That part was a misunderstanding. But while the internet was arguing about that clip, a different one resurfaced. And this one wasn't ambiguous. It was from 2013. Pokimane was 17 years old. A guy in her chat made some derogatory comments about female streamers and gamer girls. She got frustrated and used the N-word multiple times in response. Her statement at the time, "Hard for me to speak on this clip's context because it's so old. I'm almost 23 and was underage in that clip." But it was definitely not said in a racist or derogatory manner. It was a time period and environment where saying it was more common and used as a replacement for dude. She added, "It's been many years, and I don't ever say it now because I realize it's distasteful and looks bad." Critics weren't satisfied. A lot of people pointed out that her response explained the word, but didn't include a clear apology. Others noticed that media outlets which had gone after creators like PewDiePie for similar things stayed pretty quiet on this one. Years later, in February 2025, she came back to it on X. She wrote that the clip is over 10 years old, that she was a minor, that she will always regret it. She said she's apologized many times, and that other clips going around, supposedly of her using slurs, were actually just her saying her friend's name, or a League of Legends character. So, the full picture. One real incident from when she was 17, one misheard clip from when she was 22, and drama channels mashing the two together for years. The Bow Blacks DMC a Strike, 2018. In 2018, Pokimane managed to anger Keemstar, PewDiePie, and a huge chunk of the YouTube and Twitch communities, all at the same time. Here's what happened. Keemstar had been feuding with Pokimane over how he treated another streamer's fan base. A YouTuber named backlash made a video covering that feud, using a lot of footage from Pokimane's channel. She responded by hitting his video with a DMCA strike through her multi-channel network. She was also accused of threatening to strike a similar video by a creator named Fainted. The accusation: she was abusing copyright to silence critics. And it became a flashpoint for a much bigger conversation about how creators weaponize DMCA against commentary videos. She put out a long video defending her position, but she also apologized to backlash directly. And her takeaway was actually pretty self-aware. She said, trying to hide all that drama only ended up bringing more attention to it. She drew a line. She'd still go after videos that misrepresent her or use her footage maliciously. But the backlash strike, specifically? She admitted that one went too far. Honestly, this is one of the cleaner apology arcs of her career. Clear acknowledgement, direct apology to the affected creator, lessons stated and learned. The Fedmyster scandal, June 2020. This is the heaviest chapter. CNN called it one of the most high-profile #MeToo moments the gaming world had ever seen. June 2020. Offline TV removed Federico Michael Gaetan, known as Fedmyster, from the group and from their shared house. The accusations came from two of his housemates, Ivani Ng, the house manager, and Lily Pichu Key. Yvonne wrote a detailed account. She said Fedmyster had touched her without consent while drunk. When she confronted him, he claimed not to remember. Lily Pichu then backed her up, alleging Fed had offered her a massage during a painful breakup and massaged her upper thighs. She also said he'd laid in her bed while drunk. Lily Pichu also separately accused former offline TV manager Chris Chan of sexual harassment. Chris Chan apologized. Pokimane, who at that point had around 5 million Twitch followers, addressed it on her stream June 28, 2020. She said Fedmyster's behavior was a major reason she'd moved out of the offline TV house. She said he'd been sabotaging her relationships with other men, lying about her to other friends. Her quote, "This was not the first or last time Fed would lie to me. I had a lot of trust issues with him." She also explained why the group went public instead of keeping it private. After a 3-hour intervention, they found out Fedmyster had been misrepresenting the conversation to other streamers, making himself look better. The group concluded he wouldn't change, and that other women could be at risk if they stayed quiet. Fedmyster's response didn't deny the allegations. He posted, "I want to make it clear that my intentions were never to act maliciously or predatorily. I am flawed. I have issues that impede my friendships, issues with myself. But I am not a predator, and I never wanted this to happen." He stepped back from the public eye, said he was going to therapy. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. The Fedmyster document leak, November 2020. 5 months later, November 2020, an unknown source leaked a 25-page document Fedmyster had written. In it, he accused Pokimane of shaping the narrative against him, of twisting the truth. The document included screenshots of text exchanges between the two of them. And those texts, taken at face value, looked flirty. His quote from the document, "Watching Poki talk about all the things I've done with little to zero context to the nature of our relationship hurt me pretty bad. I definitely did some questionable things and broke her trust. But there are some claims she makes about me and herself that are either false, twisting the truth, or misconstrued." The internet exploded. Now there were two competing narratives, two sets of leaked private messages, and a community trying to figure out what to actually believe. Fedmyster apologized for the document going public. He confirmed he and Pokimane had never been intimate, but admitted they'd been close and often flirty. He said, I just want to apologize, as I do feel responsible for such extremely sensitive and private conversations to be aired out like dirty laundry. Pokimane responded with her own statement. Her words, "Looking back, I would have done a lot of things differently and know for a fact that neither of us handled the situation perfectly. However, our private convos heavily lacked context, and I'm not okay with how they're being misrepresented." Then, in June 2021, a year after his removal, Fedmyster came back to Twitch with a stream entirely about the situation. He admitted he had been physically inappropriate with Yvonne on 2 occasions. About the document, he said, "That document should have never been created. I was very angry and in a really bad place. It was a complete breach of privacy to even think about putting sensitive information like that on a document and then sharing it with people. It disgusts me, and I'm really sorry." The whole arc, from June 2020 to June 2021, is still one of the most debated moments in streaming history. People still argue about how to read those leaked texts. What's not debated? The original allegations were taken seriously by everyone in the house, and Fedmyster eventually apologized for the original behavior and for creating the document. The Gideon Hate Raid, January 2022, January 12th, 2022. Pokimane is streaming Valorant on Twitch. A YouTuber named Gideon, who'd been verified on Twitch literally 1 day earlier, decided to make her a target. While watching her stream on his own broadcast, he told his viewers to flood her chat with the message L+ratio. When she switched to follower-only mode, he told his followers to follow her just so they could keep spamming. Pokimane ended her stream early. Her quote on Twitter, "I am tired of being incel's punching bag. Go be sad about yourself and insecure elsewhere." Twitch hit Gideon with a 14-day suspension. Then he made what was clearly a sarcastic apology on stream. Things like, "I love you, Poki. I love you. Please get Twitch to unban me. I was supposed to play Fortnite with Ninja tomorrow." That mock apology, plus some continued harassment, pushed Twitch to upgrade the ban to permanent. Then came an extra layer to all this. Tyler Ninja Blevins said publicly he'd use his connections to get Gideon's ban reversed. Pokimane called him out on it, especially Ninja's use of the word bitches when talking about the situation. The streaming community split. Creators like Mizkif, Ludwig, and Myth defended Pokimane. Others quietly sided with Gideon. But here's where this story actually surprises you. Pokimane and Gideon later met up in person, made up, even did a collaboration video together. Gideon stayed off Twitch for over 2 years, until his account was finally unbanned on May 6th, 2024. So the shocking truth of the Gideon drama, it's not that it happened, it's how it ended, with a real reconciliation between the 2 people involved. The Mina cookie controversy, November 2023. November 13th, 2023. Pokimane announces Mina Snacks. The first product, Midnight Mini Cookies. About $7 a bag, sold in minimum bundles of 4, which means $28 minimum just to order. Within days, the internet found a problem. There was already a nearly identical product. A brand called Tootsie, sold at Costco. Cookies that looked almost the same nutritional profile, made by the exact same manufacturer, Creation Foods. Mina Snacks put out a statement saying their formulation was unique to them and had been in development for 2 years. Pokimane backed it up, but the comparison stuck, and the price became the bigger story. Then she made it worse. She called a critic complaining about the price a broke boy. The internet was not kind. Her apology, November 20th, 2023. While what I said was 100% intended to be a joke, I see why it came off as insensitive, and I apologize for that. I also understand the current price of the cookies may be expensive for some, and promise we'll continue to consider pricing to keep Mina as affordable as possible. In May 2024, On the Just Trish podcast, she went deeper. She said, "We sold them for $28 for 4 bags. The reason we did that was because we are a startup, and even at that price point, I want to be very clear. We were not making money." Hassan Piker defended her on stream. He said, "Charlie knows Pokimane. Charlie's met Pokimane. What do you think? You think really she's anti-poor?" Now here's where it gets interesting in 2026. Mina Snacks has effectively disappeared. By October 2025, no products were available. All social media activity stopped on October 30th, 2025. On December 8th, 2025, Mina's CEO Darcy Mackin became Chief Operating Officer at Jones Soda Company with a $300,000 base salary. On April 1st, 2026, Pokimane finally addressed it on TikTok. She said the brand was winding down because her status as a high-profile content creator was clashing with the brand itself. She also revealed in that video that she'd previously sold her stake in RTS, her talent management firm, for at least 6 figures, and that she's never actually made money off her offline TV equity because they never sold the company. The cookie story isn't really about cookies. It's about how influencer-led product launches scale, who controls the narrative, and how fast a brand can vanish when the public conversation turns. Leaving Twitch, January 2024, January 30th, 2024. Pokimane posts 3 words, the end of an era. She'd been on Twitch for a decade, 9.3 million followers, the 10th most followed user on the platform. Her tweet read, "Twitch has been my home for a decade, but it's time to say thank you for all the memories and love during my League, Fortnite, and Among Us days." Twitch's official account replied, "What an incredible journey it's been. We're so proud of everything you've accomplished and what's ahead in the future. You'll always have a home on Twitch, Poki." Her actual reason, given on her podcast, "So moving forward, I'm going to try streaming on other platforms. I'm going to try streaming on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. And now I'm just going to have fun. I just want to be able to partake in different platforms and things, either as I see fit or as I find excitement in doing it." Context matters here. In 2024, Twitch laid off 500 employees, about 35% of its workforce. Kick was offering creators a 95% revenue split versus Twitch's standard 50-50. The whole ecosystem was shifting, and Pokimane chose flexibility over a renewed exclusivity deal. The Hassan Podcast Incident, October 2025, September 2024. Pokimane and Lily Pichu launched the Sweet and Sour podcast. A year later, October 2025, it lands at the center of a public mess. A few days before the incident, Hassanabi Piker had been accused of using a shock collar on his dog, Kaya. Hassan denied it, said Kaya yelped because she'd accidentally injured herself getting off the bed. PETA addressed the controversy and said they hoped Hassan's denial was true. The day a Sweet and Sour episode featuring Hassan was supposed to air, the podcast staff put out this statement. "We've been watching the recent drama unfold concerning our guest, and it's been getting intense. We had a serious talk as a crew, and we all agreed that it did not feel right uploading tomorrow's episode at this moment in time." Pokimane then came out and said publicly that her staff had pulled the episode and released that statement without her approval. She said the staff involved would be fired. Reactions split. Some people praised the decision to delay the episode. Others said Pokimane was throwing her own staff under the bus to dodge responsibility either way. November 2025. Pokimane posts, "I miss when streaming was about gaming, not just drama baiting and clip farming." That post got mocked. People called her hypocritical, given how many controversies have followed her. But it also captures something real about the streaming landscape she helped build and is now trying to navigate. More than 12 years in, every drama I covered has a public record. a documented apology somewhere in the timeline, and a community still arguing about it. The shocking truth? It's mostly that the drama is rarely as clean as a thumbnail makes it look. That's the full picture. Dated, sourced, and as accurate as the public record allows.